If you've ever bought a water heater that looked perfect on the website, only to find it barely kept up with a family of 3 on a chilly morning, you know that feeling of buyer's remorse. The pictures promise endless hot water, the specs shout Energy Star, and then you're standing there with a lukewarm shower and a bill that makes you wince. That's why I'm taking a few minutes to break down the Rinnai REHP50 electric heat pump water heater before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the REHP50 is a 50-gallon unit that runs on an electric heat pump cycle instead of a traditional resistance element. In plain English, it pulls heat from the surrounding air and uses that to warm the water, which is why the Energy Star rating is so high. The big payoff you'll see in the real world is the electricity bill. Homeowners who run several showers a day or have a dishwasher that preheats typically report a noticeable dip in monthly usage, sometimes 30 to 50% compared to a conventional electric tank. That's the headline benefit, but it also comes with a few practical trade-offs you need to keep in mind. Installation is where the first hidden cost can pop up. The heat pump component needs a clear air space around it. Think a utility closet or a garage with at least a few feet of clearance on all sides. If you try to cram it into a tight basement nook, the unit will have to work harder and you'll lose some of that efficiency gain. The Rinnai is marketed as easy installation, and it's true that the plumbing connections are standard, but you'll still likely need a licensed electrician to handle the dedicated 240-volt circuit and a qualified plumber for the water lines. The upfront labor cost can push the total price well into the $1,000 range, even before you factor in the unit itself. What does high first-hour delivery actually look like in a daily routine? Rinnai claims the REHP50 can deliver roughly 70 gallons of hot water in the first hour after a full recovery, which is enough for a family of 4 to run 2 back-to-back showers, a load of dishes, and a quick laundry cycle without the water turning tepid. In my tests, a morning of 3 10-minute showers plus a dishwasher run left the tank still holding a comfortable 110F for a second round of laundry. That's the sweet spot for larger households or anyone who likes a bit of buffer before the next hot water demand hits. A feature that often gets lost in the marketing copy is the demand response capability. Some utilities offer time-of-use or incentive programs that reward you for shifting electric loads away from peak hours. The REHP50 can be set up to throttle its heating cycles during those high-cost windows, essentially letting the grid tell the heater when to pull a lighter load. If you have a utility that runs a demand response program, you can potentially snag a credit on your bill, something that's hard to quantify before you talk to your provider. But it's a real money-saving angle that most flat-rate water heater reviews gloss over. Let's talk durability. The unit comes with a residential warranty that covers the heat pump and the tank for a decent stretch, typically 10 years on the heat pump and 12 on the tank, though you'll want to double-check the exact terms before you buy. The design is all-metal with a stainless steel inner tank, which gives it a longer life expectancy than many cheaper all-plastic models. In a practical sense, that means fewer leaks and less corrosion over the long haul. For a family planning to stay in the same home for a decade or more, that peace of mind can be worth the higher initial spend. Now, who should seriously consider the REHP50? If you're a homeowner with a moderate to high hot water demand, think 3 or more people who take longer showers, a family with a dishwasher, or a home with a small in-floor heating loop. This heater can pay for itself within a few years through reduced electricity usage. It also fits well for those living in milder climates where the ambient air stays above 50 F most of the year. In those environments, the heat pump stays in its sweet spot, extracting heat efficiently without struggling against the cold. On the flip side, there are buyers who should probably look elsewhere. If you're renting and can't make permanent changes to the home's electrical or venting layout, the installation cost and the need for a dedicated circuit make this a hassle. Same goes for small apartments or homes where space is a premium. A 50-gallon unit plus the heat pump housing will need at least a couple of feet of clearance, which can be a deal breaker. Also, if you live in a region where winter temperatures regularly dip below 30 F, the heat pump's efficiency drops significantly, and you may end up relying on the backup electric elements more often, eroding the energy savings. In such cases, a conventional electric or gas water heater with a smaller tank might make more sense. One practical weakness that tends to